Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time. Well, it's the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started, let me take care of some business and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, don't hit that bell down there because YouTube won't notify you when I come on live again next. So what you should do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Excuse me. Take a look at all the links that I have up there. I put all the schedule up there also for the week, and also links to my social media and all links to my pages as well. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Oof. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a rough couple of days here this weekend. The reason why I'm late is Pepper split the skin by her dew claw, is what happened. And of course, just in time for all the vets to close for the weekend. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. She's doing okay, though. It's wrapped in gauze and whatnot. I mean, there's a little bit of blood, not a lot, but still, it was enough for, you know, kind of fucked up my weekend, is what I'm going to say. So, and of course, she did it being an asshole doing what she was doing. She was trying to go after a little white dog that wasn't bothering her at all. So, yeah, she was on leash. So, still, she made a lunge. And yeah, anyway, that's enough of that. So, hey, Penn, how's it going? What do I got in store for you today? Well, and by the way, this is the first Saturday morning blast off of the new year. That's right, of 2022. So let's get started. How about that? So we got a trailer for The Boys season 3 premiere date of June 3rd. June 3rd, the first 3 episodes drop. And what's going to happen then is every Friday thereafter, they're going to have a new episode of The Boys season 3. So looking forward to that. We get a summer, you know, summer start to The Boys. Hey, Stanley. Yeah, and it should be a lot of fun. We got the new trailer was embedded actually into, so they've been doing VOT TV Plus or VOT Plus, you know, kind of like a Fox News thing set in the boys world, with VOT. And they've been doing these little these little news blurbs, if you will. And so they've shown Huey. Huey is now part of the Federal Bureau of Superhero. I think it's FBSA is what they call it. And so, of course, he was brought on in the fair and balanced reporting of that station. Of course, in the guise of the boys' context. Anyway, and at the very end of that trailer, or the very end of that little vignette, they had a trailer for the boys. It was only like 30 seconds long. Homelander and Starlight are standing there for photo ops, in the seven, conference room. And of course, Homelander is doing a fake smile. He's sitting there with a fake smile, and then they close up on his face, and it goes to season 3 when the season 3 premiere date is. Stanley Tweedle says, "Did anyone get a white savior?" No, I think that was you. Especially since Tamora Morrison is not white. So no, I didn't get a white savior thing at all. All I got was, a crime lord taking over an entire planet was what I got. But anyway, the CW is up for sale. That's right. If you have $45, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, somewhat. But anyway, the CW is up for sale. So what this kind of came about because of a confluence of events. Their contract with the Netflix is up, I believe this year is what's going on. So that's one of the things. Yeah, it's the end of the Netflix output deal. So there's a loss of revenue from that. There's a loss of revenue from foreign sales. As they say, created a larger concern for the studios than previously generated revenue from not from linear stuff, but from Netflix and international sales. So basically, their sales are down from those areas, and that is the reason why they're selling. Um, I honestly would rather this go someplace good. Um, I know it's not going to, most likely. I wish Warner Brothers would actually step up and take in some of the properties and actually do them properly. They have HBO Max. They have the money to do it. Just do it at HBO Max. I mean, really, that's Doom Patrol is really good. Titans, the less said about Titans, the better. Young Justice is awesome. I mean, you can do a combination of animation. You can do and live action. I mean, really, you can, especially for the DC properties. Um, and they can still sell it to Netflix if they really want to. I mean, they can do another deal with Netflix at that point and have a streaming offshoot, if you will, to make some more revenue off of it while showing it also on HBO Max. I mean, some people have HBO Max, some people have Netflix. There you go, and you'll still have the international market as well. Yeah, but yeah, I'm okay with the CW being sold. Quite honestly, it needs to happen. It really does. Michael Keaton has been added to the cast of the HBO Max Batgirl movie. And yes, he is playing Bruce Wayne slash Batman. So that's going to be an interesting take on this. I guess this is not in the Robert Pattinson universe. I guess this is going to be it's another universe, but is Jeffrey Wright going to be Commissioner Gordon? Because if this is now in the Keaton universe, then well, Pat Hingle was Commissioner Gordon in that universe, and Pat Hingle's dead. So I mean, I wonder how they're going to do that. Who is Batgirl again in this movie? I can't remember her name, honestly. Uh, yeah, I'll take a look for you. Batgirl movie, 2022. Leslie Grace. Leslie Grace is her name. So Leslie Grace Martinez. I take that back. She's a American singer, songwriter, and actress, is what they say. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know who she is. Um, but then again, I'm not a tween, neither nor am I in my 20s. So, yeah. Penn says, not sure how I feel. I think I'm happy about that. Yeah, I don't know either. I really don't. It's going to be on HBO Max, so that's fine. I mean, that means I don't have to spend extra money in the theater or anything like that. So I'm okay with that then at that point, you know. As long as I don't have to spend extra money or go to a movie theater, I'm good. Where are we at here? Oh, yeah. So, remember Scott Pilgrim? It's been over 10 years now, since the movie came out. And originally started, of course, as a comic book, and it was honestly fairly a pretentious comic book. It was a very hipster comic book, when hipster was actually a viable term. Um, and that is being made into an anime series by Netflix. So those of you can dust off your little hipster pork pie hats and all that kind of stuff, and you can get your soul patches going again, all that good stuff, and you'll be able to watch Scott Pilgrim on Netflix as an anime. So yes, I pork pie hats. You can also get your bowler hat out too, and all that stuff. If you really want to be a pretentious hipster wannabe. So, yeah, I'm not that big on Scott Pilgrim. I mean, the movie was fine, but it wasn't anything to write home about. And actually, Scott Pilgrim was kind of a douche. Really, when you go into it, it's like, yeah, he's kind of a douchebag. So not really into him. The Batman will be available to view on HBO Max on April 19th, 45 days after its theatrical release. So, for those of you who don't want to brave a movie theater during all this stuff, and probably still won't be able to in April, I'm guessing at this point. Um, yeah, I'm okay with that. Without coming out in April, I'll probably end up seeing it for in the theater, unfortunately, for for the podcast and all that kind of stuff. But I'd rather see it on HBO Max myself. Stanley Tweedle says the movie had meh, I think is what you meant. That is how far my interest goes. Yeah, I agree with you. The movie, so the movie, we're going back to Scott Pilgrim here. Scott Pilgrim was being shown for free everywhere that year that it came out. I mean, before it was released in theaters, I remember, I think I saw it. Was that the one I saw a couple of times? No, I didn't see that one a couple of times, but I had the opportunity to see it a couple of times. I know I saw it at Comic-Con for free, and I remember they were showing it like all, 4 days of Comic-Con, and there were multiple showings of it. So, I mean, it wasn't that hard to get in to go and see it. They had it in a different its own theater. I wanna say it was in the Omni Hotel or something like that, and yeah, you could actually watch it for free. And then they were showing, sneak previews everywhere. They were trying to get word of mouth out, and then I think what happened was they showed it so often, so free, that people were like, "I already saw it. I don't need to pay to go and see it now." Oh, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, that's what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is actually good. Hence, I just don't get the attraction to Scott Pilgrim. Maybe I need to watch it again. It's really is a hipster vibe. Seattle. It was when Seattle was very hipsterish and trying to be cool and everything, and it really wasn't. So yeah, it comes off fairly douchey now. If you go back and watch it, it's you're gonna look at him and just go, "Wow, he's really is a douchebag." Um, and not it doesn't help that Michael Cera is really pretty much a douchebag in real life too. So I mean, there's a reason why he's not in any films anymore, and he does mostly voice work. Um, allegedly. There we go. So, funny thing is, so Movie Fanobi did a drive-by, I forget when it was, a couple of podcasts ago, a couple of weeks ago. He doesn't come by other than doing a drive-by, and neither does Viking Bitch anymore either. But anyway, um, he came by and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, in Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness trailer, you see this giant creature with a giant eye in the middle." And I said, "It's Shumagorath." And he says, "No, it's not. According to the Legos box, there's a Lego box that came out. It's Gargantuous. Gargantuos. There we go. Actually, that's not correct either. So what's going on is that actually is Shumagorath. Um, Marvel made the mistake and thought they had the rights to the character, at least to the name. But it turns out that the Robert E. Howard estate, Conan, which was the originator of that character, actually owns the rights to that name. Um, and if you go back to WandaVision, the WandaVision videos that I have, I talk about that at length of where Shumagorath came from, all that kind of stuff, because that was one of my theories. And yes, so they own Marvel owns the rights to the name Garganturos. Garganturos, there we go. Which is just a stupid name, and they slapped it on Shumagorath in the interim until they can try and get the rights back. So yeah, it's kind of a funny little copyright thing that's going on right now, but it's happened before with Marvel and not having the naming rights, like to the scrolls. They weren't able to use scrolls for a while there, Marvel, until they until Disney bought Fox out, and now they can use scrolls. Same thing with mutants. They couldn't reference mutants or say anything like that. Now they can because again, they own Fox. So, yeah. Um, Funny little thing, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting movie though. I'm wondering if they're going to get it ironed out by May. So, there we go. So, you win the internet points instead of Fenobi? Oh, no, we both do. I mean, we're both right. So it was named Gargantuous, but it really was supposed to be Shumagorath. It's just a copyright issue. I was just pointing out what the origin of the whole story was of how this came about as a news story. And then it just came out this week. It came out this week that was what the case was. Because I was looking at it, and I'm like, if you go and look on Marvel has their own kind of like Wikipedia, if you will, and you look at Gargantuous and you look at Shumagorath, the Shumagorath on the Lego box, or I should say the Gargantuous on the Lego box is Shumagorath. It's a complete and total one for one on the picture. And then you look at Gargantuous, which looks kind of like Kang from the Simpsons episodes, uh, only without the mouth. It's just a giant eye with this kind of green glob with some tentacles. Yeah. Thanks, Pen. So I do know what I'm talking about from time to time when it comes to the comic stuff and the Marvel stuff and things like that. I mean, especially like when you go into the Conan stuff, I read a good majority of that Conan, stuff from the 70s and 80s. Yeah. That was some really cool shit just because um Roy Thomas and Buscema used to do those the artwork and the writing for that stuff, and yeah, it's great stuff. If you get a chance to read those comics, go ahead and like Savage Sword of Conan. They were oversized issues too. They were gigantic issues, so they weren't your normal comic book size. They were like magazine size, is what they were when they came out, and most of them were in black and white. So it was like the artwork just really popped. It was some good stuff. The upcoming Echo series, Echo, who is in Hawkeye, she's getting her own series. The writers are actually going to be from Daredevil season 3, the Netflix Daredevil, and also Netflix The Punisher. So for her series, they're going to have writers from both of those other series coming in to write for Echo, which is going to be interesting. There's been rumors floating around that there is a Daredevil season 4 coming and all that kind of stuff, and a Punisher season 2, and they're just rumors. Honestly, there's nothing so far that is concrete that is pointing in that direction. Yes, some of those characters or some of those actors are probably being brought in for some of the movies for cameos and things like that. I would not be surprised if John Bernthal gets called back in for just a cameo, if you will, of the Punisher in Moon Knight, in the Moon Knight series. Um, we already know that Daredevil is now exists in the MCU, so that's no spoiler at this point. I'm fairly sure we'll see Daredevil again, or at least Matt Murdock in She-Hulk. Yeah. Yeah, Penn. Netflix did a great job with Daredevil. I love Luke Cage too. I mean, I don't know, man. I know a lot of people didn't like the Luke Cage series, but the first season was gold. The second season, the way the second season ended, was gold as well. And I mean, that had some powerful implications, and that we're not going to get to see more of that with Mike Coulter. Mike Coulter, yeah. I wish they brought him back. I mean, I'm hoping that they'll bring him back, just because it's the fucking great series. Which one is the next MCU series on D plus? Echo? No, Echo's being written right now. I think the next one is supposed to be Miss Marvel, and then She-Hulk. So Miss Marvel is supposed to be coming. I think they said February. Yeah. Well, yeah, Iron Fist was the weakest because, the actor refused to learn martial arts, 1, and 2, he sucked. He really did. There's only 1 good episode, with him in it, and that was in season 2 of, Luke Cage, and that was when they did Heroes for Hire. And that's so Luke Cage and Iron Fist are usually paired together in the comics, especially early on in the 70s, and they were Heroes for Hire is what it was. And easily, probably one of my favorites. I've got a lot of favorites, but yeah, that's one of them as well. I mean, the whole Misty Knight and fuck now I'm blanking on her name. I can see Jessica Henwick's face. The Daughters of the Dragon. So the Daughters of the Dragon was also a good. We had a little bit of that in Luke Cage season 2 as well. I wish that Disney Plus will bring that in, both of those things. Recast Iron Fist. They really just need to recast Iron Fist so you can get Heroes for Hire and you can get Daughters of the Dragon. Do both of them. You don't need to do Luke Cage all over again. Just go straight into Heroes for Hire, and yeah, you can roll into Daughters of the Dragon as well. Stanley says Miss Marvel, the girl with the yes, the girl with the rubber hands. You're correct. Tennant as Purple Man in in Jessica Jones. So Jessica Jones, another character they need to bring in from the Marvel universe, the Netflix universe as well, because Kristen Ritter did her perfectly. I mean, just absolutely perfectly. And yes, Tennant as Purple Man was fucking frightening, and I'll give you that. Just make Jessica Iron Fist. Nah. I mean, they're talking about so they have an Asian Iron Fist now in the comics, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I don't know. It's yes, I know the whole white savior thing and all that, whatnot, but uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, I want Danny Rand back just for the Heroes for Hire is really what I want. I had to think about that for a second. That's why I went silent. Sorry. So speaking of comics, Ed Brubaker, who is a great writer, by the way, he is now going to be the head writer for the HBO Max and Cartoon Network animated series Batman Cape Crusader. I never heard about this. I didn't know this was actually coming about until I saw that little blurb, and I'm like, really? They're actually doing an animated series called Batman the Cape Crusader, and they're actually using the original design, like the 30s design of Batman with the long ears and the the sharp kind of nose looking and all that kind of stuff. I kind of dig that look. So I want to see how they're going to do that. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun with Ed Brubaker as the head writer for the series. That's actually going to be pretty awesome. Ed Brubaker does some really good work. So Stanley says bring everyone back from the Netflix series except Danny Rand. I'm saying just recast Danny Rand. Because yeah, the guy Finn, I think his name is, just he sucked. He really did suck. And you can bring back there's tons of martial artists out there that fit the mold. And like I said, Heroes for Hire, Daughters of the Dragon. Because Heroes for Hire, you can also bring Jessica Jones in because in the comics, spoiler on any of this is only 20 years old. Jessica Jones actually marries Luke Cage, and they have a daughter. So yeah. And it's actually really good. And at one point, they end up getting Squirrel Girl to babysit for them. And yes, Squirrel Girl is a real character in the Marvel comics. Actually, she's called the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I highly recommend the comic series that came out. Oh, I want to say it's almost 10 years now, somewhere around there. It's probably one of the best series you're going to read. Um, at least the first 10, 12 issues, somewhere around there. So she's called the unbeatable Squirrel Girl because no one can actually beat her, and she's actually defeated Galactus, the big guy here, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would love to see that. They were actually supposed to bring her in. It was supposed to be a freeform show. They were going to do the New Warriors is what they were going to do, and they actually had them all cast. As a matter of fact, the AT&T girl, I can't remember her name now. She was supposed to be playing Squirrel Girl. They actually had her fitted up in costume and everything, and then of course freeform, yeah, got tanked. Wasn't there some Squirrel Girl? No, that was not Squirrel Girl cosplay in Cobra Kai. Stanley, that was not. That was something else. Although it was kind of a mashup of that and a wizard. Yeah. And so the last thing I've got for you guys is on January 21st, Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock premieres on Apple TV Plus. For those of you who are interested in that and have Apple TV Plus, you can always go over there and get your Fraggle Rock fix. Yeah. I was too old for Fraggle Rock when it came out. I just wasn't, I just was past that age group. So, because that was, I want to say like 83, 84, somewhere around there. So yeah, you know. And if it had been like about 5 years earlier, probably would have been right in my wheelhouse, but no, that wasn't it. Yeah, I understood, Penn, that you're gonna pass on Fraggle Rock. I don't blame you. Yeah. Stanley says, "Me too. I watched a little bit, but I was not a big fan." I know of it. I mean, I watched it because at the time, cable was new kind of thing, and there wasn't much on even then. So, yeah. Man, my beard is a freaking mess here. It's going all over the place. Woo. Here we go. So that's all I got for you news-wise. There wasn't very much news on the coming back here. I think things are just kind of getting ramped back up again, and you know, it'll start back up soon. I think it will. I mean, there's a lot of news stories on people rehashing, you know, um, previous work environments and stuff like that. That's mainly what the news is now, especially when it comes to like superhero movies, superhero shows, that kind of stuff, and all the toxic environments those worlds have. Well, Hollywood, I should say, have engendered. Stanley says, "I hope they stick the landing on Station 11." Me too, man. I hope they do stick the landing on Station 11. It could go either way. It could be a real shit show, or it could be really good. Yes, and The Expanse as well can go either way. It could be a real shit show, or it could be really good. And that's why we're just kind of riding this stuff out to see what it's going to be like, right? That's why we're here to watch this stuff. Yeah, we got The Expanse right there. There's the Rossi. You can see it right next to my head, right next to Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes is looking at that. Penn says I'm almost caught up on Station 11. Where you at? What episode are you on? Trying to think. Oh God, man, my knees are just gone. I got Boba Fett over here now. I got Django Fett over here. I've got to start digging through the boxes again and just start finding stuff and posting some stuff up. Oh, I just realized there's a big blank spot right here that I can put some stuff. So that's what I was looking at. And of course, I got the dark saber right here, and I mean, there's the blade for the dark saber right here. You know, all that kind of stuff. Stan Lee's right there. But trying to think of what else is out there. We've got Peacemaker showing up this week. What else is coming out this week? Stanley said, I have more faith in the Expanse than in Station 11. I don't know, man. I really don't. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure. I want to have faith in the Expanse as well, but I've been burned before, so I'm very cautious about it. So, we have Superman and Lois premiering this week. Naomi, which is a new DC character, I believe, on the CW. So both of those are on the CW the same night on the 11th. Peacemaker is on HBO Max January 13th. And then the following week, we get Resident Alien Season 2 on Sci-Fi. So I get to start those back up again. And then it just goes into movies at that point. There's one new show, which I think is on its last season anyway, the Orville New Horizons. They have a new title as well, which is on Hulu in March. And I'm fairly sure it's going to be their last season. So Penn says the authors are involved, so that gives me hope. Yeah, but you know what? Authors sometimes change their mind on how things go. And so what they might think is a good idea on paper doesn't really play out when they do the teleplay of it. It's happened before. So that's why I'm cautious about it. I'm fairly cautious about it. Penn says I need to finally watch Super. Yeah, you need to watch Superman and Lois. It's actually really good. I have to admit, it is actually good. So, Stanley says Archive 81 on Netflix. No idea if that could be something. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. There's all kinds of weird stuff that's popping up. I mean, lately, what I've been watching, well, what I've been watching a lot of is Disney Plus has the old Amazing Spider-Man from the early 2000s on there. No, wait, the 90s, excuse me, from the 90s. That's right. So I've been watching that one, and god damn, that animation is repetitive. If you go through and watch it, they show Uncle Ben, the whole Uncle Ben death of Peter recounting the mugger that got away and all that stuff who kills Uncle Ben at least 15 or 16 times in the first season alone. So, and it's always the same animation over and over and over again. And yeah, it's kind of funny. I just caught them reusing a lot of the same animation over and over again. There is one literally this time around. I'm in season 3 right now, and the detective Lee, she shows up. She's actually trailing a car, and she was in the Blade episode where he was holed up in a movie theater that was showing Dracula. So for no reason, they show her car pulling up outside the same movie theater, the Dracula movie theater, even though she's supposed to be tailing another car, which I just thought was funny. Hey, Keith Hamilton, how's it going? Dota? What does Dota stand for again? I can't remember offhand. My brain Swiss cheese at the moment too. So Stanley Trio says they will ruin Superman and Lois at some point. That is the most. Yeah, I know Superman and Lois's days are numbered, but I kind of like where they're at right now. I give it until about season 3. Well, actually, the CW's up for sale anyway. So, oh, Defense of the Ancients video game. Okay, I don't know what that is. With the CW up for sale, I was going to give it until at least season 3 before they ruin Superman and Lois, but I have a feeling that it might get moved over to HBO Max and continue being good. So that might be one of the series that actually does survive this whole transition. The Flash is done. I mean, The Flash has been done for a while. Stargirl could also survive and be brought over to HBO Max as well. Other than that, everything else is pretty much done. Naomi just does not look good. It really doesn't. Even though I know they're trying to pin it to Superman and Lois a bit, it just I looked at the trailer and I'm just like, eh, I don't know really what it's about, and you're not showing me any of this from the trailer. What I got from the trailer was like the first 2 minutes of the opening of the show is what it looked like to me. Legends of Tomorrow was fun, Pen, but that's run its course as well. That needs to end. It's just become a farce of itself, a farce of a farce of itself. Try and say that a couple times fast. Stanley says, "What is Naomi about? I never heard of it." It's a new superhero that is invented for the CW by Ava Duvernay. I can never pronounce her name. Anyway, um, so supposedly it's supposed to be some teenage girl who is a fan of Superman, who finds out that she has powers and is being or supposed to be inducted into some kind of or she's they're vying for control. Two different factions are vying for control of her to join their houses. Heroes and villains, essentially, is what it is. And because she has superpowers, I don't know if it's a meta group or what it is, but it looks kind of ridiculous, honestly. Keith Hamilton says it was an anime that was on Netflix. If you like Castlevania, you might enjoy it. Okay. I know I've heard it. I mean, I've heard Dota. I just don't remember what the acronym was for. That was I watch a lot of shit, unfortunately, and I hear of a lot of shit, and in one ear, out the other. That's what the cans are on for, is to keep it on right now. Penn says, just happy to get more Constantine, even though it could have been better. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm fairly sure. I mean, if anything's going to survive, it's going to be Stargirl and Superman and Lois. Naomi might as well, but I don't really I don't pin any hopes on that one. Stan said the Dota anime did not grab me, but I like Castlevania. So Castlevania, the reason why Castlevania worked was because of the writer. And then, of course, the writer had to just become this huge scumbag, or actually be revealed as a huge scumbag. And yeah, uh, unfortunately, and that's why season 4 was the last one that he wrote, and then he was out the door. So he had written for comics and um, TV series, all that kind of stuff. Was a really good writer. Had some really good ideas. I actually have a book of his up here someplace. As a matter of fact, it's right there, right by. There we go. Warren Ellis is his name. It's a good book, and I mean, he has some really interesting ways of looking at things and writing things, and but unfortunately, he also, allegedly was grooming girls to, yeah, underage girls. So there you go. Penn said, I thought Stargirl was pretty good. I went in with low Yeah, I went in with low expectations too. Stargirl needs to pick up its game. And again, like I said, if it moves over to HBO Max, gets some more money, I think they could up that game a bit more. I don't see Batgirl on it, or Batgirl. I don't see Batwoman making the transition over either. I mean, that shit show was troubled from the beginning, and they're going to cut their ties with that one completely if they can. Flash is done because it's done. It should have been done like 2 seasons ago. um Legends of Tomorrow should be done. I mean, that's easy to wrap up, and I'm looking at it from, if you're a producer and you're moving things over to HBO Max, you're going to keep Superman and Lois because it's new, it's Superman, and you can actually pump more money into the budget on that one. Um, Naomi, if it does if it does good, it's this season will be the make or break for it on that, and maybe Stargirl because you had it already kind of in between. You had it on DC Universe, then you have it on the CW, then you just move it over to HBO Max and actually, you know, yeah. Keith says, "Judge the art, not the artist." Um, yeah, but when your artist does some really heinous shit, it's kind of hard not to have it bleed over into the art, and so that's the reason why he no longer exists in that. Why he's not getting hired anymore. So I can go back and reread the stuff, and that's fine. But I mean, he screwed a lot of because of that shit. Like he used to work with Ben Templesmith on a series called Fell, which was an awesome series. They only did two books, and they were supposed to go back again and do the books, and then of course all this shit fell apart here because of him. Yeah. So Penn says Batwoman and Captain Marvel. Okay, word 789. What's the what's the middle finger for there, huh? It seems he was doing similar shit as yeah, exactly. Agreed, Stanley. Yes. And yeah, yeah. Anyway, the less said about that, the better. Let's move on to happier subjects. How about that? So, Word 79 says, I hope that The Boys has more fight sequences. I know the show is more about other stuff, but still. Uh, it's really not about the fight sequences. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got it. Word 789. So the middle finger was supposed to be like the thumbnail. Got it. Yeah. I thought it was directed to me for a second there, and I'm like, yeah, well, I'll give it right back to you. But I thought I'd ask first. That's how it works. Um, so it's kind of funny. I was going through just a few boxes and stuff like that. I was really looking for the Spider-Man figure up here for the Spider-Man No Way Home. Considering that you know, there's spoilers involved in all of that. I'm not going to get into it, but people have eventually usually ask me what the weirdest thing is that I actually have in my collection. And if I can reach it. Oh, there it goes. Poor Ash took a fall. All right. Well, the weirdest thing in my collection is this. So this was for Spider-Man 2, I believe it was what it was. And it was the Emma Rose campaign when Mary Jane Watson was, doing her modeling and whatnot. And what this actually contains, and you can see it in there, there's a little tester bottle of perfume. Because remember, she was actually modeling for the perfume kind of thing. And so this is the weirdest thing. I don't remember where I got this from. I think it was Comic-Con or something like that. But this is the weirdest little bit of movie memorabilia that I have. I've never opened. I just, I cart it around from place to place. Poor Ash didn't make it. Oh well. I still haven't seen Don't Look Up yet. Apple Crow. I haven't. Yes, that Emma Rose is in Spider-Man 2 game. Yes, correct word 789. It's not rare actually. Every now and then you see it. If I Google it or something like that to see what it's worth, there's a bunch of them for sale on eBay. Someone has like a warehouse full of those things. Yeah, like I have the Mary Jane Watson in the sparkly Asian dress that she was in. So there was two different versions of the action figure, that they had. One was just the muted uh um Asian dress that she was in. This is from the first Spider-Man. And the other one, which was supposed to be the rare figure or the chase figure, is the sparkly version of the dress. So someplace in one of the boxes here, I still have that boxed up. Nothing like Kristen Dunst, so it must have a lot of Photoshop. No, that actually looks a lot like her. I mean, the only thing they did was that they softened up the very bottom of the face here because her face should actually come down a little bit more. So what they did was they sculpted her face inward a little bit. Is all they did on that, and they whited it. They basically bleached it out. Is what they did. They blew it out. So Stanley says, I don't collect movie toys, but yesterday I got a Galactic Snackin' Grogu doll as a present. Nice. Nice. Applecrow says, I think I've mentioned that I have a Venture Brothers storyboard and I have no idea how I got it. It just showed up in the mail. Interesting. Very cool. Maybe it was a drunken purchase on eBay or something like that. I know they were selling them for a while there. A friend of mine from school, from the art school that I went to, he knew somebody who was, I believe, doing the storyboards for Venture Brothers, and they were doing an auction of the Venture Brothers storyboards. And I put a link, I believe, on my Facebook page for it at one point. So that and a copy of the Dune Encyclopedia are my rarest items. Interesting. Any views on Boba Fett so far? Not a fan. What do you mean? Any views? I've been covering it, the Book of Boba Fett, if that's what you're asking. Word 789. I actually like it. I like it a lot, and it is the start of the criminal enterprise of Boba Fett. Is what this is. I think he's going to be the one that takes over Crimson Dawn and calls it something else completely. Also, so it's kind of funny. I read an article out there about the chosen one trope, that you always get, like Luke Skywalker, of course, being the chosen one, or Anakin being the chosen one, um, Ash being the chosen one, or so on and so forth. And now they were talking about in that article that Boba Fett might actually be the chosen one. And I'm like, no, he's a crime lord. He's actually just building up a crime syndicate, and he's going to have all of he basically owns Tatooine now, is what I'm thinking at this point. He's going to own the Pike Syndicate, which controls all the spice, and if you control all the spice, you control a good portion of the crime syndicate right there. So, yeah. Word 79 says, like, what are your opinions? I just don't like the whole Tusken Raider. I love the Tusken Raider focus, honestly. That is part of it. You need to have the reason why it's a slow burn. It's to show how he's building this empire, and once he builds that empire, it's going to be something that is going to be used as a foil for the Mandalorian. Is what's going to happen here. So. Stanley says it is cute pen, but after a day, what should I do with it? I have enough stuff cluttering up my apartment already. Display someplace. I think it's all going to be set on Tatooine except for the final episode, Word 789. I believe it's going to end with him sitting someplace like, Crimson Dawn. Yeah, that whole thing. I'm just glad they're actually fleshing out the Tusken Raiders rather than just having them being these things you shoot at and try and take down. Exactly. Well, I mean, let's face facts. I mean, Lucas stole a good majority of Dune for Star Wars. Um, there you have it. So, It's not like Dune, it is Dune. He stole a good majority of Dune. He did. He just calls it something else. That's all it is. On Kessel, the spice is actually manufactured by giant spiders. And on Dune, what they're manufactured by giant worms. There you go. Giant spiders, giant worms. Same thing. Yes, he did say Dune. That was the tongue-in-cheek thing of Jon Favreau writing that line. He knows exactly where it came from. He knows all of this. He's a big nerd as well. So I mean, none of us are that it's not taken from Dune itself. So all right. Well, Word 79 says there was even a giant worm on Tatooine, and that wasn't a giant worm. That was the Kryat dragon. It's a dragon. That's what that is. It even has little feet and all that kind of stuff underneath. It just digs. Just because it burrows doesn't mean that it's a worm, you know? Yeah. Dragon schmaggin. Yeah, I know. I know. Well, with that, I'm gonna let you guys go for the day. I gotta go and take a look at the little dog's bandages and see what's going on there. Um, Making sure that everything has stopped bleeding, that kind of thing. Applecrow says Frank Herbert even mocks Star Wars as a pale ripoff in later books. Yes, there you go. It looked worm-like, kind of, but it has little legs too. All right. With that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the day. I gotta go and take a look and see what's going on here with the little monster. Um, if you like what you see here, well, first of all, thank you for everyone who joined me today in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops up here just for you. And if you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you don't want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below and YouTube won't notify you when I come on live. So what you should do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com, take a look at the schedule up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages as well. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again. Oh, what do I have going on for the rest of this week, too? There we go. Tomorrow I'm off. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet. I'll find something. I might do Mother Android that's on Hulu right now, which is the Chloe Moretz movie that I don't know. We'll take a look and see what that's like. That might be it. That might be the one. Wednesday will be the Book of Boba Fett. Thursday will be the season finale of Station 11. Friday will be the season finale of The Expanse. Oh God, we also have new shows showing up too. Geez, before I actually even start on that. Also Thursday is going to be Peacemaker as well. So damn, we've got season finale of Station 11 and the season premiere of Peacemaker. Friday is going to be the season finale and series finale of The Expanse. Saturday, we roll back around again to the normal time of Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. There we go. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up, I don't know, not knowing what to say next because, yeah, that's where we're at. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get those boosters as well, and the flu shot as well. And I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe out there and have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks, everyone. See ya.